Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. This YouTube channel is all about legacy. It's all about the legacy that people leave behind and the impact that people have in the world after they're gone. And this video is going to focus on the controversial figure Charlie Kirk and the type of legacy that he left behind. For those of you who don't know, Charlie Kirk was a political figure who was killed while he was giving a talk at a university. And there's a lot of people who love this guy, and there's a lot of people who hate this guy. And that's the thing about legacies, is that legacies are often very nuanced. You're going to find some people, especially when someone leaves a legacy in politics, that people either really love this person and support what they do, or they hate this person and they do not support what this person says and what they do in their lives. This video is not supposed to be a pro Charlie Kirk video or an anti Charlie Kirk video. This is simply a video where I'm going to go out into public and I'm going to ask people what they think about this guy's legacy. And given that political legacies like this guy's will be controversial and some people are going to love him and they're going to hate him, I'm going to essentially ask them whether they think his legacy was positive or whether it was negative, and we can also leave some wiggle room for people who might think or feel mixed, that they think that some of the things that he thought or did were good and some of the things he thought and did were bad. Now, I do live in Florida, and so I do believe that based on the reputation Florida has, people are going to probably be a bit more positive to this guy. But there very well may be some people who have a negative opinion of him, and I'll be asking them to also share their thoughts as to why they disagreed with what he was about. So let's go out and see what people have to say about this guy and the legacy that he left.
Why he's positive, spreading Christianity and people's positive message.
Right. So you thought that the values he was spreading were positive values?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really sad. He was killed for spreading, I believe, well, he was killed for, assassinated for his spreading Christianity and opposing others' views through debate. So yeah, I thought that was great.
So look, this is America, and despite whatever anyone's political views are, they should always be able to discuss them freely and elaborate and say whatever they please, because that's the First Amendment, and you can disagree, but there should never be political violence. So positive legacy, and it's a tragedy for this country, whatever side of the aisle you're on, because I don't care if you like them or if you don't, you have to respect people's liberties.
So you think positive legacy because of what he was doing in terms of having those dialogues and those conversations?
Absolutely, and just expressing your freedom of speech and being able to speak freely in this country. You don't have to agree with him, but you have to respect his right to voice his opinions, and no one deserves to be shot for that.
Like, so the thing about it is, like, he had some positive things and he had some negative things about him, just like every human being, you know what I mean? So like, I just want to do like that.
Okay,
like,
so he's kind of in the middle.
Yeah,
a
like,
little bit.
I mean,
Right.
you're like free to say whatever you want, but like, he did get off, like, I don't know, positive, negative features, just like everybody though. Yeah. That's the only thing I can do right there.
Yeah.
Like when he spoke about shit, I was just like, all right, some things like I'd agree with, other things I didn't. Just like I don't know. That's why I'm there.
You're kind of like in the
middle.
So I think he was a positive legacy, you know. I'll put that on right down there. You know, I feel like everyone's in an echo chamber now. Watched them like early on, and I disagreed with a bunch of the stuff, and I was like, I agree with the other people, but I see a lot of the echo chamber on the right side or whatever. And he showed me some of the left, and everybody sees only their side, and I think it was positive because he actually put both forth. And, you know, I disagreed with him a lot. And if I was watching him and disagreed, I think that's a positive thing.
Okay, so you think that, like, you disagree with him on some stuff, but, like, at the same time, like, you thought that he was at least...
He provided both sides. Nobody sees both sides.
Okay, so he was having that, he was, like, allowed...
There was a dialogue. Nobody does a dialogue anymore. It's like, you know, everybody wants to, like, do all these catches, and he did it on the short form stuff, but, like, you know, you drive and listen to him, and it's like, you know, it's like, oh, he's got a good point, and then it's like, oh, he's wrong on that, and it's like, I actually agree with the other side, and, you know, otherwise, we're just fed all the same, but he actually did do some good stuff, and I think, like, relatively positive. So yeah, positive.
I'm gonna agree with the neutral party. The reason why is because I'm gonna be honest. Again, like it may seem. I don't think that anybody deserves to be killed by gun violence. Granted, that is some of the things that was a part of his rhetoric. I don't believe in it, and I don't agree with that aspect of what he was saying. However, like again, like I personally have not heard a lot of his rhetoric, so I can't, like, I've only been fed what the media shows us, because the media is only going to go to whatever you're already showing them that you are inclined to be completely fair. Like, we see it with Jimmy Kimmel, where he got canceled for some shit that he said. And I think it's important for us to remain neutral in our stance, and to also like allow other opinions to kind of expand our horizons and to expand the things that we think about, and to have those differing opinions. That's what makes us human at the end of the day. But I do believe that it was, you know, negative for him to have to die in order for us to have this conversation. I do believe that, you know, maybe had he been able to kind of explore more, we would have had more conversations about like left and right, and perhaps even coming together and like finding some viewpoints we agree upon. But it was definitely negative that he passed away. I do think that some of the things that he was saying, I don't personally agree with, but it was negative for him to pass away, so.
Do you want to give your thoughts on it?
You know, it's a very mixed feelings about it. I mean, nobody should be killed, but he also had negative thoughts.
So you thought that you didn't really agree with his opinions, but
Right, but he shouldn't be.
so in terms of his legacy, you put it in the middle. But overall, if you think the values he's left behind to the world, do you think that those are positive values or negative values?
But,
What do you think some of his like
but
good
it's
values
like,
were?
There's some things you got to do. I mean, you can preach and not act on it, and act differently. You can, you know, talk about any verses of the Bible, but if you don't practice it, what good is it?
So you think that there were some cases where maybe he was saying certain things, arguing certain things, and not necessarily like
Yeah,
practicing it.
So,
Okay.
yeah, that was my explanation. So I believe that what he tried to say was good, or you know, part of it, but then I guess he also had negatives. You know.
That's all, because I gotta do my exercise.
Yeah, no worries. Have a good day. So I did have one guy who walked by and I asked him the question and he said thumbs down, but he didn't want to vote on camera. So I'm just going to go ahead and tally a vote for negative legacy. Do you want to share why you think that?
I voted positive legacy. He's a young 31-year-old man with kids and a wife, and that's the most positive legacy anyone could have.
You think being a good father, a good husband, building a family, you think that ultimately that's establishing a good legacy to leave behind?
Yeah, do positive. Why not?
Whether we like it or not, he's definitely leaving a legacy.
Yeah, whether you agree with him or not, he still has a respect to speak his mind.
Negative.
Okay.
You're gonna like last forever, you know what I mean? He has like something like about it.
One person who didn't want to be on camera just put positive legacy, so I'm putting a mark under that.
I'm gonna say a positive.
Do you want to share why you think his legacy overall is positive?
Honestly, the main thing would be that he proclaimed Jesus Christ. That's it.
So those Christian values, you think that leaves a positive legacy?
That would be it. Yep. Thanks.
So what do you think?
I would say a positive vote.
Okay, I'll put you down for positive.
One reason. He proclaimed that Jesus Christ is our Lord and King. That is all. That is all that matters.
Okay. So his religious values you think were positive?
Yes, yes. And whatever mistakes he made, we're all human.
Right.
We all make mistakes. We're all sinners. And I think he taught that the most. Ultimately, I think he taught love.
Right. So it's kind of a realization that like nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect, you're not perfect. Everyone's gonna potentially do some things that are, you know, questionable,
Yes,
but ultimately
one person that was perfect, Jesus Christ. And we should model our lives after him.
Right, so because he spread that message, you put yourself in the positive.
Absolutely. That's all that matters.
Good for you. Can I vote for 2?
Yeah, so him too? Yeah.
Can I work for my poodle?
Nah, has gotta be one person. Why do you think he left a positive legacy?
Because he was willing to talk to people. He was willing to, his words made a difference. And positive or negative, he was willing to take a microphone and walk into and talk to other people. We need more of that. We need people to talk to each other, right?
So because he was talking with people and having those conversations, you think that's a positive impact he's left in the world?
I feel like we're not talking to each other, and we need to talk to each other. I mean, we have a daughter who, she talks to us. She doesn't like him, but we talk. We talk to each other, and how are you going to solve a division if you don't talk about it?
Right. So your daughter wasn't a very big fan. Do you think she might put herself in this?
She would, definitely.
And does she tell you why she thinks that?
She's racist, misogynist, all the homophobe, all that stuff that I've seen the videos. There's many videos of him. He is not any of those things, and he actually purports to people that he doesn't believe that. So when I asked my daughter, give me some proof of what you're saying, she sent me videos, but they were edited videos. They weren't complete videos. They weren't the complete picture.
Sound bites.
Yeah, they were sound bites. So, you know, if you do that to anybody, you're not always going to get the truth.
So you would say that some of the people who might put him in the negative category, they're kind of a bit mistaken about what he really represented?
I do feel that way. A lot of people I know who didn't like him don't watch the news as much as we do and haven't seen his videos from end to end. Like, I've been following him for many years now, so I feel like I have a good perspective of where he was. I didn't agree with everything he said, but I thought it was very brave of him to walk onto a college campus, which I went to a college campus, and as a Christian, I was called a Jesus freak, and this is 20 years ago, 25 years ago actually. I was called a Jesus freak. I was called many names just because I wanted to give a Christian perspective in English class and critical thinking, and but I was labeled that. So that was 25 years ago. It's still very prevalent today.
So based on your experience, you're like, if he's doing that today, that was, in your opinion, that was brave of him to go and do that on a college campus.
It's like walking into the lion's den, which, you know, in the Bible, that's what the disciples did. That's what Daniel did. That's what they walked into the lion's den. He walked in and he gave people a microphone. He put his microphone down and gave them a microphone and said, "You talk to me. You tell me. I'm going to put my microphone down. You tell me how you feel, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it." He never even went to college, but he was very smart and he was very well read. He knew a lot of stuff, so it was interesting. He went to Oxford. He debated people at Oxford. I couldn't do that. So anyway,
He invited whoever else was there to come up and speak with him peacefully, not throwing spears or weapons or fists or bad words. You disagree with me, prove me wrong. And, you know,
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
no, I was in law enforcement for 35 years. And that was kind of my premise. I have to prove things one way or the other.
Right.
And so prove me wrong. If I say you did this, prove me wrong. In his case, he was talking about being nice to other people and Jesus forgiving people and the basic Christian premise in life. And he would say to people, prove me wrong, when their proofs were generally lacking and not fully developed and hateful. And they would use cuss words and falsehoods to try to prove him wrong, where he would speak the truth, and he gave them the opportunity to have their full say before he would respond. Like she just said, he would put his mic down and let them have their full say. and then he would respond. And that's a very brave man to do that.
Outfit too for
her. Okay, cool. All right. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. How you doing? How's it going? Did you want to vote too, ma'am?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's welcome to vote. All right.
Positive you're in Florida.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going?
100%, 100,000,000%.
Do you want to share why you think that?
Yeah, I think he wasn't scared to share his opinion. He didn't care exactly what other people thought, but I think that motivated him to kind of put people to the mic and say, hey, we disagree, but let me hear your side. Let's talk about it. So I think that's what he left a really positive impact on, and he influenced a lot of people to get better and to follow the right things. And they didn't have to agree with him, but that didn't mean that he hated them, that he was gonna silence them out. So I think that's why he was a really good dude. Left a great impact.
All right, y'all, so I'm probably going to wrap this video up here. It's pretty clear at this point that most of the people who came by and talked with me, they believed that Charlie Kirk left a positive legacy, okay? We had a few people who put themselves down the middle saying, kind of agreeing, kind of not agreeing with the things he said. Even the people, it should be noted, who thought he left a positive legacy still said that there were some elements of what he said that they did not agree with. So there is that nuance that you would expect there to be. Nevertheless, that was what we got today in terms of people's opinions.
All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that video. So that was the footage that I was able to get. Obviously, it was very one-sided. When you look at the people who talked to me in this video, you can tell from their demographics that a lot of them were white. And if I was able to get more people of different ethnicities, then they may have had a different opinion of this guy. Unfortunately, I cannot control who does and who does not decide to vote and talk to me. All I can do is get the opinions of people who decide to talk to me. And so of all the people who were open to talking and voting and discussing, these were the opinions that I got. It's obviously a lot more divided and nuanced than that, and there are people who are going to have a negative opinion of this guy's legacy. I just didn't get to have an opportunity to talk to them. And a point that I want to make with this video, drawing it all back to what this channel is about, is that legacies are very nuanced things. If you are someone who watches this content and is thinking about what kind of legacy you want to leave in your life for the world after it's all said and done, it is important to remember that some people are going to love what you do for the world and others are not. And ultimately, you just have to stay true to yourself and spread the values and the messages that you believe in and try to make the change that you think is going to benefit the world in the end. Some people will love what you do, some people will hate what you do, and that's just the fact of life. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked. If you agreed with this guy's legacy or did not agree with this guy's legacy, please leave a comment in the comment section expressing your opinion. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure that you subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.